Okay, we'll start from this one. Okay. So what we're going to do, children, is we're going to recite the poem and you will repeat after. You'll repeat after me, alright? Okay. Should we start, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
The road not taken. Okay. The road not taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. And be
Diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel fast. Diverged in a yellow wood.
okay. You know what? Because of some internet issues, what we'll do is I will say the complete stanza, and then I just want to see whether you memorized it and try to recite it together. All right. So I'll do stanza 1 with the boys and stanza 2 with the girls. All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let me complete it. The road not taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not.
And having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as far that the passing there had worn them really about the same.
Then the took the other just as fair, having perhaps had a better
And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on its way, I doubted if I should ever come back.
And both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the
I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference.
I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, most of those years and I this better one that has traveled by, and it has made all the difference.
Okay, at least I got to know that you all have read the poem once. Okay? Alright, now we're going to do the reference to the context, children. This is from BBC. Sir, we can mute everybody now. There's a lot of disturbance. Rajiv sir, kindly mute everybody. Okay. Rajiv sir, we'll start with the first stanza of BBC Companion, the one you had started. Move back. Children, these stanzas are from BBC Companion Literature. So kindly purchase it by this Saturday so that it's easier for you to go through them, and then you have to start writing the question answers also of all the poems. Alright? So now what we're going to do is we're just going to read it. All of you can read it in your mind as well. All of you will read the summary in the mind as well. So what happens in the first stanza? Let's summarize it, children. Read, and everybody can read, but you'll be on mute. So the poet comes across a road. He comes across a road which is forking into two, right? It is separating into two, and he's wondering which road to follow, as it was not possible for him to follow both the roads because he's just one traveler. Yes or no? Yes. All right. So what he does is his eyes followed the road till it curved into an undergrowth, and then nothing was visible beyond it. So this is a little summary of your stanza. Are we all clear with this summary? Give me a thumbs up. All right. We move on to the questions that follow. Now let's discuss the questions. What does the poet mean by the expression yellow wood? And be one traveler. What do you think yellow wood is? Come on, tell me. What do you think yellow wood is?
Those are the decomposed leaves shed from the trees.
Yeah. What is the season here? The season autumn, fall. Yes. So these are the leaves, the yellow leaves the poet is talking about. And what is the meaning by one traveler? He was one all by himself. He was an
He was an individual who couldn't travel two roads at the same time.
exactly. Perfect. Now let's move on to the next question. Everybody to read in your minds. Yes. Why did the speaker feel like traveling both the roads? Why did he want both the roads? Because both the roads were equally tempting, equally promising, equally fair. Although one was slightly more worn out. Yes or no? But after he stands there for a long time, he realizes that I will take the one which is less used. Maybe because he felt he wants an adventure, so he feels that lesser people have gone on the second path, the second road, so he takes the second option. Are we all clear, everybody? Okay. All right. We move on to the next stanza. Reference to context, the next stanza. Everybody, come on, let's read the summary of the second stanza. What is the second stanza about? The poet chose the other road because it was more challenging, lesser people had traveled, it was more inviting for him. Yes? And he felt that it needs to be used because lesser people have used it. So he was an adventurous. This shows that the poet was rather adventurous. He did not like the mundane, boring things in life. So he takes up this second choice, the second road, which he finds more promising after a lot of thinking and pondering. Are we clear, everybody? Let's move to the question answers. What does the other in line 1 refer to? Who is that other thing? What is the other here? It refers to the road. Yes, very good. It refers. Perfect. And why was it just as fair? Why does he use this phrase, just as fair?
The poet felt that the road chosen by him was fair. Chosen by him.
He feels that even the second one was as fair, as inviting and beautiful like the one he had chosen. Fair and just. Are we clear with that? All right. We move on to the B part. What better claim did the other have? Now he chose the second choice, the second road. The road chosen by the poet had a better claim. Why? Because it was grassier and lesser people had gone on it, trodden on it. It was less worn out as compared to the... Yes, it was grassy. You can even say it was tempting, or he felt that, this seems a better option because it has more things to do here. Maybe it's more adventurous for him, more inviting, more challenges. So he picks the second choice, that's the second road. Should we move on to the third stanza? All right. Summary of the third stanza. Come on, girls, let's read the summary of the third stanza together. Unmute, yes. Girls, in the morning, as the poet commenced his journey, he realized no one had. He decided to stick to his choice for yet another day. Though in his heart of hearts, he knew that it might not be possible for him to ever get a chance to come back, revise his choice, because the journey of life on road leads to another and another and another, and we cannot undo the circumstances which are gone by. Lovely. So what happens in the third paragraph? The poet is saying, yes, you know what? I've got these two choices. I've taken the second one, but one day I'll come back to the first. But no, life gives you opportunities and chances maybe once or twice, but not so many times. So he knows heart of hearts that he's not going to go back to that road. Let's see the questions which follow stanza 3. Having chosen the road, what decision did the speaker take about the first road? The poet decides to stick to the chosen road for some more time, and he promises himself that he would travel the other road sometime later. But deep in his heart of hearts, he knew that he will never get a chance to go back to that, because life is not like that. Yes, one road will lead to another, and so on. And very rare, very seldom, there's going to be a chance that you can undo and come back to that decision. Are we clear, everybody? Okay. Now it says, explain in your own words the meaning of the expression, leaves no step had trodden black. You remember it is morning? You remember the first stanza? He says, and both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. It's morning time. No traveler had walked on either, because it's morning and it is not crushed or trampled by the people walking on the leaves, and thus they are uncrushed and they had not been walked upon. Are we clear? All right. We move to the fourth stanza. Very good. Fourth stanza. Yes, the fourth stanza was, I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. What is the summary of this? This poet is saying, well, you know what, I'm going to change this a little bit, because according to me, most of the scholars believe this sigh could be, most of them feel that it could be of relief, you know, that yes, I'm all right with it. Yes, there are few scholars who feel that there is a regret in it. I wish I had not. So I remember I told you about sigh, or sigh, right? There are two. You can take either of the two. There's nothing wrong, children. You can choose regret or you can choose relief. Both are correct. Poetry is your interpretation. So in this, you can write your own answers. You can say, well, maybe he was relieved that he had taken this and not the first one, because he would not have been where he is right now. The other way to look at it is sigh. He's regretting what he's done, and he said, I wish I could have taken that. I took the less, and that has made. But nowhere is it mentioned that he wanted the other one, right? So we can do either. The speaker would be telling about his decision to travel by the less travelled road. Which is the less travelled road? The one which he has taken, or the road not taken? The one he took. Yes, the less travelled, which has made all the difference to him in his life. Now, sigh would have happened to his life if he had travelled by the first. His dissatisfaction also might have made him sigh. So children, this answer, I want all of you to write it in your own words. It could be either. What are you going to write in this answer? You can write down by saying that poetry is an interpretation, and thus most scholars believe that this sigh is a sigh of relief. As he says that I took this decision and made me, and where I am, it has made all the difference. And it can also be taken by a few scholars do interpret it by saying it's a sigh of regret, that whatever he is today, whatever he is today, he could have been, he is what he is, and that has made the difference. So you can take it both ways. Both answers will be right. All right, Mishti? Both answers right. No correct answer for this.
Yes.
All right. Okay, great. Now we move on to the next. All right. The poet means to say that it was a choice of that particular road that has shaped his life in a particular manner. He says that has made all the difference. Now look at the way I'm saying it. That has made all the difference. Is it a sigh of regret or relief? Yes, it's how I'm going to say with the tone. And that has made all the difference. So the poet means to say that he has made this choice and that is how he is there in this particular manner. Had he chosen the other road, his life would have been different. There is no mention that it would have been better or happier. No, it would have been different. The road actually symbolizes the opportunities in life and the decisions and the choices one has to make in life's journey as humans. Right? Are we all clear with that? All right. So there's no, yeah. So you can write, I would, grade 9 children, I would encourage you, okay, you can read this, but the A part I told you can be either, but according to me and most of the scholars, I can say, well, that has made all the difference and sigh, you know. But you can mention that, yes, it can be taken as regret and his life would have been different, but nowhere happier or better. It would have been different. Maybe today, whatever decisions I've taken, I'm here, I'm with you, I love doing what I'm doing. Yes? But maybe if about 20 years ago, I had taken a decision of moving to New York, and I would have been there, okay, I would have been fine, but that would have been a different destination for me. I mean, different destiny, sorry. So these are the choices you make, and I'm happy now. Got it? Yes. Very good. Now, I want, sir, could we go back to the first slide I had shown you? Ranveer is looking very perplexed. The link I sent you of the choices and the mind map. The mind map. The first one. Yes, Sujit, are we all clear with the poem? Give me a thumbs up. The choices we make. So what do you think is what is a poetic device of this poem? We haven't, sir, the mind map one I gave you, the one I sent in the morning, Rajiv sir. Mind, yeah. Children, in grade 9 we do poetic devices, but I will just put it on hold till we start the classes because there is a lot of explanation in it, and it will be better that we do it once we are back in school physically. All right, so we'll do it that time. Poetic devices I'll do with you later, but on the whole, this poem is a metaphor. You know what a metaphor is? It's raining cats and dogs. Are the cats and dogs falling from there? No, it's a way of saying that is pouring. It's really raining really hard. All right? So these are metaphors. We've done it in class 8, bache. I have a heart of gold. Does my heart actually is made of gold? No, it's a way of saying, just comparing it by saying that it's very nice. So when you apply things, an object or an action, so it doesn't mean literally, it's a way of saying it. So I think this poem is a metaphor because the road, it symbolizes the choices we make in life and the choices we get in life. Are we clear, everybody? Okay, now sir is going to show us. Yes, let's all read in our minds, everybody. Sometimes the choices we make have far-reaching consequences. Think about choices you make on a daily basis and the importance of these choices. I want, you know what? You all have your literature notebooks ready? No. Please see to it that when you ready my classes, I want all the books on your writing table. BBC's, Companions, Tune and Grammar, literature notebook and a writing notebook. Yeah, compactor also I want. By Saturday. Okay, children? I want all of you, if you in your rough notebooks, make a mind map like this and answer the questions yourself. Sometimes we may have to make choices which have a far-reaching consequence in our life. Think about the choices you make on a daily basis. Yes, right choices. And now complete this web. And decisions you may have to make in the next few years, children, the factors that affect these choices. Come on, 3 are given. I want you to complete this web chart. Can't think of any? Yes, come on. I'm sure you can think of a few. The coming future. Aditya, come on, think. Yes, you should have completed. Any answers? None? Okay, let's see what we have on the screen now. Bachi, your profession in the near future, your subjects, your streams you're going to take in 11th, 12th, you know. Could be so many things in the future. The college you're going to take up, the science, whatever fields, money, decisions. This is a future, not near future. Please give me something beyond this. Nothing? Profession? College? What else?
Education level.
Profession, okay. That'll come all in profession. Not money? Okay. All right. These are your answers. So I want you to add a few more if you have. We move on to the next one. It's a reply from a student's point of view. It says, have you made choices that are acceptable and less risky? Or have you always taken that beaten track? Why? Children, I put this question to all of you. Given a choice, would you have done what the poet has done? Taken a more promising, inviting, but a less trod upon choice? Or would you go for the cliche thing? The same mundane one everybody takes? Yes, let's see your answers. This student particular says, okay, I said, okay, average child, I'm not extraordinary, unique. So he says, I will go in a safer path. I will follow something which is acceptable and not risky. How many of you would like to take away from the mundane courses? Anyone can answer? Yes, come on, I'll start from Tamishka. Mishti, Dilpreet, tell me. You're given two options. Okay, Mishti, Dilpreet and Tamishka. You're given two options, right? Either you become a doctor or you become a what?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Astronaut.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, astronaut is something okay. Which one would you choose? But you love space. You just love it. All your life you've been writing in your report cards, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be an astronaut. What happened? You are not very confident about it. You feel it's too adventurous. Yes? I'll go for the cliche. Although the second one is also, the first one is very tough. Alright. You know what, children? This is your answer. This is your answer. You can write it yourself. Okay. Now, I would like to just, we have only 3 minutes left, sir. Next question. Okay, that's it. Alright, time up. My classes, I think I should take 2 periods. Children, I want the story ready and I'm going to send you the answer key. Please do not copy paste. Write the reference to the context in your notebooks and in your own words. And remember the last stanza, be your own answers. Alright, be good. Make your bed. Make your beds. Make your beds, everybody. Gratitude and nischay kar apni jeet karo. Homework, RTCs and get your BBCs by Saturday. Alright, take care. Oh, wow. Chashandeep, bye-bye. Take care, be good, be yourself and think wisely. Do your homework properly. And I want the story by Thursday, I said, tomorrow. And reference to context by Saturday. Reference to context by Saturday. Literature notebooks. You have to write this poem. And preferably, I want you to learn this poem so that I'm going to see how you recite this poem. All right, time up. Woo!